stories tonight in Y News. A former Deputy National Security Advisor believes that changing or lowering the level of diplomatic relations between China and Philippines is unnecessary with the latest incident of harassment in the West Philippine Sea by Beijing.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PhilHealth, expected to record aftershocks in 2 weeks after magnitude 6 earthquake struck Masbate.
Several senators want to probe the alleged human trafficking using a private aircraft at the Ninoy International Airport.
And Elon Musk, Twitter's current owner, hopes to find a new chief executive officer for the company by the end of this year.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, February 16, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Maria Latoza.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Gianna Privado.
First in the news. A former Deputy National Security Advisor believes that changing or lowering the level of diplomatic relations between China and Philippines is unnecessary with the latest incident of harassment in the West Philippine Sea by Beijing. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor Designate Romel Banlawi has disagreed with the idea of former NSA Clarita Carlos that the Philippines should start lowering the diplomatic relations of the Philippines to China. This is following China's harassment of Philippine Coast Guard vessel using a military-grade laser.
I consider that kind of proposal unnecessary and an overreaction. Lowering our diplomatic relations with China and also interpreting the incident as a form of military action will be inimical to a peaceful resolution of conflict in the South China Sea.
According to Banlawi, the Philippine government should continue the peaceful resolution of the maritime dispute in the West Philippine Sea. He also said that the two countries must immediately implement the bilateral agreement that was signed during President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s visit in Beijing last month, particularly the arrangement for the establishment of a communication mechanism on maritime issues between the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China.
We need to implement that agreement between the two concerned implementing agencies. So in the case of the situation on the ground, that means strengthening communication procedures between their respective coast guards.
Last Tuesday, February 14, President Marcos Jr. summoned Chinese ambassador to the Philippines, Wang Xilian, over the said latest aggressive act of the Chinese Coast Guard at Ayungin Shoal. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Foreign Affairs stands by the report of the Philippine Coast Guard, or the PCG, that the Chinese Coast Guard pointed military-grade laser light to the BRP Malabascual last February 6. The said ship is performing the resupply mission in Ayungin Shoal. The laser tagging incident have caused temporary blindness to the crew of the PCG ship. China denied the accusations of the harassment on the Philippine ship and its crew. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said the Chinese Coast Guard used handheld laser green light pointer to measure the distance and speed of the Philippine vessel.
A strong earthquake struck Masbate and nearby areas earlier today. Aftershocks are expected for the next 2 weeks. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
The magnitude 6 earthquake that was recorded past 2 a.m. today, February 16, registered intensity 7 in Masbate City. Lower intensities was also recorded in other areas in Bicol and Visayas. The epicenter is in Batuan, Masbate with a depth of only 10 kilometers.
Strong earthquake na siya, especially dun sa malalapit sa lugar. Talagang mararamdaman yan.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS said the earthquake most probably originated in the segment of Philippine Fault. Strong earthquakes was also recorded in the area in years 2003 and 2020. PHIVOLCS said that they are expecting aftershocks.
Yeah, siguro mga a week to 2 weeks from time to time. Talaga may mga mas mahihinang mararamdaman tayo, especially yung mga tao na nakatira near the epicentral area.
PHIVOLCS reminded the public to participate in the nationwide earthquake drills being conducted by the authorities. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Commission on Elections or Comelec is set to conduct a pilot testing of automated elections for the barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections on October 30, 2023. Dante Amenta tells us why.
In response to the House Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms proposal, the Commission on Elections or Comelec will conduct a first pilot testing of automated elections for the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan Elections or BSKE. This is simultaneous with the October 30, 2023 BSKE. The pilot testing will be conducted in Barangays Zone 2, Poblacion and Paliparan 3 in Dasmariñas City, Cavite and Barangay Pasong Tamo in Quezon City. There are 84,100 registered voters for barangay and 27,817 for the SK elections in the above-mentioned barangays. Comelec spokesperson Director Janrex Laujanco said the filing of the certificates of candidacy or COCs will be earlier in those barangays. The names of the candidates will be printed on the ballots. Laujanco added they will also study whether the next BSKE will be fully automated. Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections or Comelec will conduct the final Joint Security Command Conference on February 21, 2023 in Cavite. This is over the special elections in the 7th Legislative District of Cavite on February 25. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police will brief the Comelec about the final security preparations for the special polls. These include the number of installed Comelec checkpoints and security personnel to be deployed, among others.
And for our news abroad, Elon Musk, Twitter's current owner, hopes to find a new chief executive officer for the company by the end of this year. Neresa Dando explains why, live. Good evening, Neresa.
Good evening, Jonah. Twitter's current owner and chief executive officer, Elon Musk, hopes to find a CEO who will take over the company's management so that it may function without his direct day-to-day involvement. On Wednesday, February 15, Musk spoke through a video conference at the World Government Summit in Dubai, expressing his thoughts in making sure that the company can function and is in a financially healthy place. Back in December, Musk released a poll asking people whether he should step down as Twitter's CEO, and more than half of Twitter's 17.5 million users voted yes. Meanwhile, Twitter is being worked on as a platform where people won't regret spending hours on it, as Musk strives to do after showing his dislike for the Chinese-made social media app TikTok. Yona?
Thank you, Neresa, for that live report. The First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, announced her intention to resign was based on deeper and long-term assessment. Monica Canlas tells us why.
After more than 8 years in the role, the head of the Scottish Government, the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, was certain that her decision to step down is for the best interest for herself, her party, and her country. She acknowledged the choppy waters, but her decision was a result of a more thorough assessment. The First Minister believed that serving well would require knowing as to when is the right time to make way for a new leader. Although the First Minister acknowledges the crisis, the democratic outrage for blocking the constitutional referendum, she strongly believes that there is already a majority support for independence, but must be increased and strengthened. It is expected that Mrs. Sturgeon will remain in office until her successor is in place. Monica Canlas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Several senators want to probe the alleged human trafficking using a private aircraft at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The airport's management, meanwhile, says they are now investigating the alleged violation of the aircraft. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
Senator Grace Poe is optimistic that the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will soon call for an inquiry on the possible case of human trafficking involving a private aircraft. This comes after the senator revealed during Wednesday's session an incident happened on February 13 at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport when the PNP Aviation Security Group or AVSA Group received an anonymous tip on a possible human trafficking activity involving a private plane bound for Dubai. The plane is operated by Cloud9 No. 1 Leasing Company Limited, a Hong Kong registered leasing company, with an assigned aircraft ground handler, Globan Aviation Service Corporation or Globan. Post says only 6 passengers were declared, but it was alleged that 14 individuals were set to board the aircraft. The senator revealed a copy of the general declaration that they obtained, showing that only 3 crew members and 6 passengers were on the list. However, based on the information from the Bureau of Immigration or BI, there were 7 passengers on the list with different nationalities.
So yung 6 na na-clear, nakasok na, meron nag-attempt na 8 pang papasok pero napigilan dahil nakita ng may nagvi-video. Pero bago isara ang pinto ng eroplano, may nakalusot na 3 na wala doon sa manifest.
The aircraft inspectors were said to direct the ground handler Globan to hold the departure of the plane, but the aircraft allegedly continued to take off.
Agad nagpunta ang head ng PNP Aviation Security Group sa rampa at kwinestyon ng immigration officers. Una, kung bakit aalis ang eroplano nang hindi dumaan sa pre-flight inspection. Number 2, bakit may mga karagdagang mga pasahero na wala sa general declaration. Mr. President, ang sagot ng immigration officer ay naproseso na raw nila ang mga karagdagang pasahero at clear to travel, na ang mga ito kahit wala sa flight manifest.
Post says the BI is now investigating the incident. In a statement, the Manila International Airport Authority or MIAA says the ground handler obtained necessary approvals for the entry-exit clearance from the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, exit clearance from the PNP AVSA Group, and the ramp entry clearance from the MIAA. It adds the passengers transported to the aircraft were processed and cleared by the BI on site. Despite this, the MIAA vows to continue the investigation on the incident in a bid to dispel insinuations that the passengers departed the country secretly. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA aims to open an institution to provide advanced skills on disaster preparedness and search and rescue operations. The agency will open a training facility before the year ends. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA is set to build a disaster preparedness training center in their property at the sanitary landfill in Carmona, Cavite. The agency said they will begin construction by the second quarter this year. The training center aims to improve and institutionalize disaster response measures among search and rescue units of the local government units. MMDA targets to open the said training center before the year ends.
Yung pong construction nito will take about 6 months. So probably end of the year bubuksan po natin.
The agency estimates that the budget for the project is about 25 million pesos, excluding search and rescue equipment they still need to procure. The Disaster Preparedness Training Center will feature 4 training facilities, including rappelling tower, confined space structure, wrecked building with structure rubble pile, and pancake collapse structure. MMDA will also lend their search and rescue equipment to trainees to simulate real-life disaster scenarios. Acting MMDA Chairman Romando Artes said the duration of the training will be for 2 weeks based on their module.
Dito po talagang trainers training at advanced training po ang ating ibibigay. Talagang actual na po na pagbasag ng simento, nakatagilid, nasa ibabaw, nasa ilalim. Yung ganun pong klaseng training talaga ang atin pong ibibigay using yung mga equipments po na meron tayo na kailangan po kung sakaling magkaroon na sakuna.
The MMDA emphasized that the project is also relevant in preparation for the big one. According to 2004 study conducted by Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA, PHIVOLCS and MMDA, a magnitude 7 earthquake in Metro Manila could lead to more than 35,000 deaths and up to 350,000 collapsed structures.
Lahat tayo ay maapektuhan kung sakaling dumating yung big one. Ang ano po natin dito, ang goal natin ay maka-rescue at maka-respond ng maayos kung sakaling dumating itong sakuna nito. Kung tayo ay handa, educated yung mga tao, mababawasan po natin yung casualty. Yung isang buhay po na ma-save natin ay mahalaga.
The training center will initially cater to 17 Metro Manila disaster risk reduction and management offices and will soon accommodate other government agencies, barangay auxiliaries, fire volunteer groups, and rescuers from other provinces. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Trade and Industry intensifies enforcement laws related to vape products. This after the DTI confiscated some products in a vape shop in Manila today. Asha Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
The Department of Trade and Industry has been tasked to enforce laws under Republic Act 11900 or the Vaporized Nicotine and Non-Nicotine Products Regulations Act. It aims to protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness. But DTI Assistant Secretary Anne Claire Cabotchan emphasizes the protection to minors against the use of vape products. She expressed her concern in the accessibility of vape shops where some can be seen within just 100 meters away from schools, which is against the law.
Ang DTI po, kasi kami po yung naatasan sa batas to implement Republic Act 11900, ay pinag-iigting po natin yung ating surveillance, tinitingnan po natin even for online shops, and we will intensify our enforcement.
Today, the DTI conducted surprise inspection in a vape shop in Manila. The agency confiscated prohibited vape products being sold in the shop.
So sa batas, sinasabi doon, yung may fruit flavors, the dessert flavors, they have an enumeration. Pero pag flavored, bawal po siya. Yung isa ding bawal, yung dun sa design ng packaging ng vape ay very attractive to minors.
In accordance with the law, the DTI issued a notice of violation against the business owner to give them 48 hours to explain about the said incident. The vape shop owner may be penalized 100,000 pesos even on its first offense and closure on the fourth offense. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development has allotted 5 million pesos standby funds and stockpiles of family food packs as an augmentation for the distribution of relief packs to quake-hit residents of the city of Masbate. Based on the latest report provided by the DSWD Field Office 5, there are no reported families displaced by the magnitude 6 earthquake happened at 2 a.m. in Masbate. However, the DSWD Bicol region has allotted standby funds worth 5 million pesos and a stockpile of almost 80,000 family food packs and non-food items. Meanwhile, the DSWD Field Office 5 immediately activated its social welfare and development teams and quick response team to assist in the conduct of rapid damage assessment of the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office.
I spoke to Mayor Tuason this morning of Masbate City. I asked, he gave me an update and he said that there is no wide-scale destruction, there is no wide-scale evacuation. And then we offered to assist and he said, not at the moment because they have it under control. But I did assure him that if he needs further assistance, to just get in touch with me. All our regional offices have pre-positioned cash on hand, pre-positioned all the kits that we have, from food packs to family packs.
Wednesday afternoon, tens of thousands of people were left scared as a magnitude 6.1 earthquake hit New Zealand. Paul Gatchalian tells us the details live. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Giona. The magnitude 6.1 earthquake hit New Zealand on Wednesday, February 15 at 7:38 p.m. local time and initially hit like a jolt which turned into a long and strong shake. According to GeoNet New Zealand, over 61,000 people across the North and South Islands felt the quake. A majority of people experienced a big bump in their homes, which eventually started shaking hard for 30 seconds before swaying. A weaker earthquake occurred around 20 minutes after the first, measuring at a magnitude of 4, which was felt by around 30,000 people. Fortunately, the National Emergency Management Agency reported that there would be no tsunami headed for the country and no major damages to the areas impacted. Meanwhile, Cyclone Gabriel makes its way through New Zealand. 4 people have lost their lives, including a child, and thousands are left stranded as flights in the country have been cancelled. Back to you, Giona.
Thank you, Paul, for that live report. Avian flu has spread to new corners of the globe and has become endemic, according to the veterinarians and disease experts who warned it was now a year-round problem. Anna Mancilia tells us why live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Jonah. For the first time, avian flu has become endemic in some wild birds such as waterfowl, which can carry the disease without dying. Experts say these wild birds can spread the disease to poultry through contaminated feces, saliva, and other means. The prevalence of the virus in the wild signals that record outbreaks will not abate soon on poultry farms, according to more than 20 farmers and experts that Reuters have interviewed. Disease experts have warned farmers to focus to bird flu prevention efforts throughout the seasons and not just during spring migration, as it poses a serious risk all year round. Outbreaks of the virus have widened in Asia, Africa, Europe, and North and South America since the strain arrived in the United States early 2022. Argentina and Uruguay have both declared national sanitary emergencies Wednesday, following the confirmation of Argentinian government of its first infection in wild birds, while Uruguay detected it in dead swans. Giona?
Thank you, Annie, for that live report. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
An overseas Filipino worker, or OFW, was found dead in Dubai and has reportedly been in the morgue for more than a week. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
27-year-old OFW Mark David Gadingan of Bagong Silang, Caloocan City has worked as chef in Dubai for more than 2 years. In February 7, Mark was found dead in Dubai, and authorities believe that the alleged suspect is a Filipino. His uncle, Emilio Ringalota, has been shocked after hearing the news from Mark's mother, who is also working as overseas Filipino worker in Dubai.
Yun lang gusto namin. Tulong lang naman, okay na yun. Inimbitahan siya na mayroong okasyon doon, kung saan man lugar yun, basta sa Dubai din. Then, pumunta naman yung pamangking ko, umatin doon. Nagkaroon siguro ng kasiyahan, nagkaroon ng inuman. Pagdating siguro, nagkaroon ng hindi magandang pagkakaintindihan o kung ano man, talagang wala kaming idea. Ayun, umantong hanggang sa sinaksak na lang yung pamangkin ko.
Mark's younger brother, Hart Gerald Gadingan, was also shocked with the sudden news. He said that he was supposed to enroll in his school when he has been contacted by their relatives that Mark passed away.
Kung hindi nangyari sa yun, kuya, sana masaya tayo ngayon. Magkakasama, buo. Yung sinasabi mo na magre-reunion tayo, magsasama-sama lahat ng magkamag-anak. Pag-uwi mo, iba pala yung pagsasama-samahan namin.
The family seek help in UNTV Serbisyong Bayanihan program where the agency immediately respond. According to Public Service Director Lanilina Pinado, they will coordinate with the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW to provide proper assistance and for the fast resolution of the case.
I-refer natin siya kay Sir Bernard Olalia, yung Undersecretary ng Department of Migrant Workers para ma-check yung case. Tapos kung ano yung mga assistance na pwede nating ibigay sa kanila, like yung kailangan na maiuwi dito yung bangkay ni Sir Mark. Meron siyang ongoing case, investigation dun sa pagkamatay ni Sir Mark. So i-assist po natin sila through the help of Department of Migrant Workers.
The investigation of the death of Mark David Gadingan is still ongoing, and for those who want to help the victim, the public may contact the number of Mark's uncle at 0956-637-3717. Bernadette Tino, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, will be expanding its hemodialysis coverage from 90 to 156 sessions. Gladys Tawabi will tell us why.
PhilHealth will increase its coverage for outpatient hemodialysis from the current 90 sessions to 156.
This increase in the number of sessions covered is based on standards for adequate dialysis, which requires 3 4-hour sessions every week for chronic kidney disease, stage 5 patients.
The agency targets to issue this new policy before August to ensure that the people and dialysis patients are informed and for them to be ready. Meanwhile, the agency has also introduced its new benefit packages. Among these, to address mental health and malnutrition issue in the country. Despite the suspension of premium health increase, the agency has to continue with the rollout of new benefit packages, in line with its commitment of implementing several enhancements this year. Gladys Tawabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, on Thursday, February 16, blasted the statement of Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin in connection with the February 6 laser pointing incident in Ayungin Shoal in the West Philippine Sea. In a radio interview, PCG advisor for Maritime Security and spokesperson for WPS, Commodore J. Tariela, has belied the statement of the Chinese Foreign Ministry that the Chinese Coast Guard was only using handheld equipment to measure the distance and speed of the Philippine ship and signal directions for navigation safety. Earlier, Wang, at a press conference on Wednesday, February 15, has mentioned that a Chinese Coast Guard ship only used a handheld laser just to measure the distance and speed vessels, including the Philippine ship, to ensure for navigation safety. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson also denied that a Chinese Coast Guard vessel directed lasers at the Philippine crew. He also added that the handheld equipment used by Chinese crew is not intended to inflict damage on anything or anyone on the Philippine ship. However, Tariela has insisted that the equipment used by the said Chinese crew was a military-grade laser, explaining that it should be available in any market if it was just a regular laser. our kasangbahay as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus. We are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
Before we close, we will leave you with the word, giving glory to God from the book of 3 John chapter 1 verse 4. It says, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. Are the reasons behind the news. February 16, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Gianna Pravado.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Maria Latoza. We serve the people. We give glory to God.